Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Dan2000 on Xbox Live, and this is another episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly of WWE this week. And we've got, for you guys that only just paid attention to last week's, to remind you all how the rules are. I pick one segment or match that represents the good stuff that happened on Monday Night Raw, and one segment or match that represents the bad part of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. And then the ugly part of SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw, which is not, it's the ugly as in I can't look. It's more of a case of it was not good and it wasn't bad. It was like meh. It was ugly. So, without further ado, let's get on to the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of Monday Night Raw. And now, the good part of Monday Night Raw for this past week on the 14th of January 2018 was indeed the Intercontinental Championship match, which was a triple threat match between Bobby Lashley, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins. And that was such a good match. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, later on in the night there was another match that I thought could have been that was also a good match at the end, which was a fatal four-way match where the winner would go on to face Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. But I'll talk about that in just a second. But at the beginning of the show, Monday Night Raw, Braun Strowman basically was having a promo segment with Baron Corbin and ended up chasing Baron Corbin to Mr. McMahon's limo and ended up destroying Mr. McMahon's limo. So therefore that cost him his chance to be the number one contender for the WWE Universal Championship, and the match between Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman is no longer taking place. So that is why we had that fatal four-way match. However, we getting on to the good part that I chose, and we had the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship about 2/3 before the main event, which was that fatal four-way. So I couldn't choose between the fatal four-way, which was also good, and the triple threat match, but I think the triple threat match was even better. So yeah, had some really good spots here and there, had a really good result I would say it had a good result, but hey, Bobby Lashley is now the new Intercontinental Champion due to that matchup, which surprised me a lot because I didn't expect that to happen. But as they say, anything can happen in WWE. By calculating from a previous move where Seth Rollins was taken out of the picture as he was going for the curb stomp and was about to hit it onto Dean Ambrose, but then Lio Rush got involved and pulled him out the ring, and so therefore it was more of a case of, because of the distractions, Dean Ambrose managed to wake up from that last kick to the stomach, and then go and turn around into a spear from Bobby Lashley. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Lashley is the new Intercontinental Champion. That was the good part of Monday Night Raw. But now I'm going to go on to the bad part. The bad part of Monday Night Raw was indeed the moment of bliss. In the brand new talk show, the moment of bliss, just the whole build up to that was okay, I guess. Like, it was this random dude that was trying to give Alexa Bliss her latte, and she knocked onto the door and said, "Hey Alexa, Alexa, hello." Oops, shit. Hello, Alexa, and they like came in through the and spotted her again. They changed, and like, are they bringing back like sex appeal in WWE? I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked that part, but the whole the Moment of Bliss segment itself was pretty badly done this week. Last week it was done really well. The reveal with the new women's tag team titles, but this week with the guest being Paul Heyman, it was more of a, I don't know, it's just one of those things where he was there to promote the matchup for Royal Rumble, where if it was good, the winner was going to be Baron Corbin, Finn Balor, John Cena, or Drew McIntyre, which later on in that night Finn Balor was to win. But it was just bad. It was just like really boring. It's like, then you got Otis Motivich from Heavy Machinery interrupting at the end, and then just goes on to the fatal four-way match. I mean, I'm sorry, but that was really bad and really boring, and not even worth going back to watch. It's like very random, very weird. Just didn't particularly like that moment on Monday Night Raw. It wasn't a moment of bliss, but it was more like a moment of madness. But we're gonna go on to the ugly part of Monday Night Raw now. And of course, the ugly part of Monday Night Raw, which I nearly couldn't, because it was such an interesting show. There was a few good bits and a few bad bits, but there wasn't necessarily any bits that were good and bad at the same time. So I just picked this one out at random, because again, it was just the same old thing, but where it was, again, it was Nia Jax and Tamina teaming up to take on Ronda Rousey and a partner of her choice. And this time it was Sasha Banks with Bayley on the outside, and it's just, you know, like, yeah, so Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks won the match, but, you know, what's the point of having this big dominant female team if nothing's gonna come from them, you know? It's like, I just don't understand it. I didn't really like it, and I didn't really, it wasn't a match where I was interested in it. There was also a 6-woman tag team match as well, but I don't know, it's just Raw when it comes to the women's division. It's just tag team matches after tag team matches, and it's kind of getting boring now. I mean, Sasha Banks is going to be facing Ronda Rousey at the Royal Rumble for the Raw Women's Championship, and they had the whole, you know, Natalia and Bayley thing afterwards, and after that match it led up to Nikki Cross teaming with Natalia, and of course Bayley herself to take on the Riot Squad, but even that was still in there. So yeah, that's my ugly is the Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka taking on Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks. I think I could even probably put the entire women's tag team matches all together, but at least with Nikki Cross in that matchup with the 6 women tag team match, that made it a bit more interesting. But yeah, it's just the same old Ronda Rousey with another opponent taking on Nia Jax and Tamina. I'm telling you now, if that happens again next week before the Royal Rumble, then I'm definitely gonna put that in the ugly spot again. But that was Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. That was the good, the bad, and the ugly of Monday Night Raw. And now I'm gonna tell you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly from SmackDown Live. and going on to that now. Yes, indeed, SmackDown Live on the 15th of January 2018. It was indeed Shane McMahon's birthday. And by God, that was pretty good in itself, that last minute segment. But wasn't the best in my opinion. So the good part of SmackDown Live, this past week, was indeed Andreas Almeida versus Rey Mysterio. That match was awesome, despite the ending being the bit of a I wouldn't say lame ending, but one of those heelish endings. But it was the whole time match itself was pretty damn awesome. I like what they done with Andreas and Almeida, where they changed it just to Andrea. Yes, Selena Vega, yeah, she got involved at the end and costing Rey Mysterio the match with their little distraction finish, as I like to call it. But overall, it was pretty good. That match up itself, and that was like the second match in. I think, if I remember correctly, third match in, and I think it was the match of the night, in my opinion. So yeah, that was the good part of SmackDown Live this past week. Very close to the call of the Shane McMahon birthday bash Miz segment / match was also pretty good, but I think the icing on the cake, no pun intended, goes to that Andreas Almeida versus Rey Mysterio matchup. And even with that deadly single hook DDT that at the end from the top rope, that was pretty brutal. There was a lot of brutal moments, like the sunset flip power driver, which was really good and awesome to see. Slowly bringing back like these I can't believe this is happening moments. Again with I'll get onto that Jimmy and Mandy Rose segment later on, but we'll go on to the bad part of SmackDown Live in just a second. Here we go now. And here we are for the bad part of SmackDown Live, and can I just say that there was a moment where after the Becky Lynch started off the show, where her and Asuka had a little promo, and they each took on one member of the Iconics and beat them in minutes, which I think was pretty quick, but still pretty interesting to see the feud between Becky and Asuka build up for the Royal Rumble. It's always nice to see the Iconics get beaten up. So you could say that was iconic, but that was pretty good. What was bad was what happened after that. After that was pretty much a repeat of last week's SmackDown Live, where you had Daniel Bryan the last week going to the concession stands and trash mouth the WWE Universe, but it was AJ Styles' turn to do the exact same thing, except he was helping cheer cheer on the crowd instead of antagonize them. So, but then of course out of nowhere came Daniel Bryan and did this little brawl, and Daniel Bryan got put through a table. It's like, yeah, it was interesting, but was it even worth it? Having that same spot, but the roles reversed? No, not really. For the standard stuff, next to the beatdown that Samoa Joe gave Mustafa Ali, which I'll get to that in a minute, it's pretty bad. It was just I don't think it was that interesting, to be honest with you. I don't mind those types of segments, but the fact that they repeated themselves from last week, if that was pretty boring last week, so this week it was the same. So yeah, that was pretty bad. That was the bad segment of SmackDown Live this week. But we're gonna get on to the ugly part of SmackDown Live, and here we are, the final bit, the ugly part of SmackDown Live. And the ugly part of SmackDown Live, well, was what I just mentioned just 2 seconds ago. Samoa Joe and Mustafa Ali. That segment is just another Tuesday evening for Samoa Joe, as it was meant to be Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali in a match, but it was just another one of those pre-match beatdowns, sending a message to the Royal Rumble participants by Samoa Joe, who's going to be entering his first Royal Rumble this year. He said he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and if you're a champion, you're going to go to sleep. But the whole beatdown Mustafa Ali was just pointless, in my opinion. There was no need to beat him down like that when, before the match. You could have at least done that, by squashing him in the match, and just could have beat him down, had the match, then beat him down some more afterwards. At least that would have been a little bit more interesting. But no, it was just another pre-match beatdown, and that was pretty much it. So that's why I gave that segment the ugly part. It's because it wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was okay, but it was better than some of the other parts that happened on SmackDown Live this past week, like the whole Mandy Rose and Jimmy Uso segment, where the beatdown from Naomi afterwards in the hotel room again. They're trying to bring sex appeal back for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that's going to be turned into PG-13 again. I don't know. I don't know what WWE's going with this. But yeah, that was the good, the bad, and the ugly of SmackDown Live. And in fact, that was it. That is my good, bad, and ugly for Raw, SmackDown Live, where we had so many good matches for Raw and SmackDown this past week, and some bad matches. Well, kind of. Not many bad matches or segments. There was a couple, like I mentioned, and there was definitely some ugly bits in there somewhere on SmackDown Live and Raw, of course. So, what did you think of Raw and SmackDown this week? Tell me, what did you think was good? Tell me what you thought was bad, and tell me what you thought was meh or ugly, in a sense. I am Danrvdtree2000, also known as Danrvdtree2000 on Xbox Live, and until next time, bye bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.